Storm kickoff. First use of the football for the Dolphins. It's a wobbly old kickoff. Fortunately for the Dolphins, it bounced up nicely, and there is the former Storm man with the first carry of the night, Kafusi. The Dolphins have a reloaded dummy half. Now Katoa, he puts a kick, and it's not a bad one. Pappenhausen had to get his skates on, but a penalty to the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was Saifidi that hit the deck, the big number 8 for the Dolphins. He was chasing through.
Jermaine Azarko, the Dolphins' leading point scorer. He's played in every one of their games. Puts the Dolphins in front. 5 metres away. Couple of tackles left in the set. Garlick sees an opportunity, goes on his own. He'll almost get over. He's cut off just short. Munster goes to Hughes. Hughes kicking for Bradley, ready for takeoff. Oh, yeah, what a take. Kane Bradley, brilliant in the air, and he scores the first try of the night. 2 metres away from the line. Munster, Bloor, quick hands, Howarth Coates. Too easy in the end for Melbourne, but beautifully executed, and Xavier Coates scores in the corner. Bit of help as well as Pappenhausen. Oh, he's too good. He's too clever. He's too quick. Ryan Pappenhausen with the Sonic the Hedgehog haircut scores a Melbourne Storm try. Okay, Nichols goes to the milestone man, Kerr. Out the back, lovely pass. Nicarima dancing with them. He gives it to Gilbert. Gilbert back to Kerr. Kerr. Oh, yeah! Game 100. Scores a try. Well done, Josh Kerr. Big moments in this contest late in the first half as Katoa, a crossfield kick for Bostock. He got a catch on it. Brilliantly done. That's outstanding from Jack Bostock. We've got a game on our hands. The Finns are in again.
They're back.
Here's Farnworth. Out the back, Nicarima! There's a gap and he goes through. Lovely pass on the inside. Ray Stone! That is champagne!
Yes! We got it!
From the Dolphins. Ray Stone scores. We're all locked up. Here's the last for Melbourne. Hughes, they're running it. Anderson, dummied to Bradley. Can he get away from Farnworth? He does. You don't see that too often. Anderson with a kick. He's leading the chase, is he? No, Bostock's there to save the day. Brilliant play by Grant Anderson. Now Stone. Katoa. Oh, held it up beautifully. Oh, that is just brilliant from this young half, Isaiah Katoa. Lemuelu with the try.
Just watch his big show. Straightens up. Jerome Hughes gets sucked in. And it's just a lovely little pass. There was no defenders in sight.
As Katoa kicks the hammer, chasing it through, gets a catch on it. Tabuafito. Ray Stone's got a double. Ray Stone's got a double. Right on by the hammer. What a take, what a try. And away from the line. Big opportunity for the Dolphins again as the kick comes through. Nicarima!
Stop it.
Nicarima gets the ball down and they go further in front. Donahue to Katoa. Kicks. Bradley. Oh, he lost it. Into the arms of Farnworth. Herbie! With the dive into the corner. After the short kick-off, there's another error. It's just the third time in the last 15 years that the Storm have conceded 40. And there's a bit happening again out there. The hammer. And Munster. There's a bit happening further away from that as well.
Just had a clear knock on, mate. You come in and start all that, you're in the bin. If you start a knock on, I know he starts it, you go on with it in the bin.
Last play. Can they get a consolation try? Kick across field for Bradley, and he'll grab a double. Bradley with his second try of the night, and the Storm get a late one. The Dolphins, 42, have defeated the Storm, 22.
Chris, when the Melbourne Storm have had a 14-point lead, they've won 79 of their last 80 games. Only the Panthers have come back and beat them. Does that kind of put into context how special that performance was from your side tonight?
Yeah, look, obviously I didn't know those numbers, but I was just really proud of our blokes. 16-2 down, all the running sort of going against us. That could have been a very different game, but you could tell fairly early in the piece that we were up for the fight, and you could also tell that when we had our opportunities that we were sort of doing something with it. So once we went into half time at a decent sort of score, I thought we were a real chance, and I'm just really proud of our blokes.
Were you worried at 16-2, considering what Melbourne's done to teams in the first 20, 30 minutes of games over the past couple of weeks?
We know they're fast starters, and that is what they've been able to do, is just get on top early and not really be too troubled. But as I said, I could see that our blokes were up for the challenge. Even though we were 16-2 down, we sort of put ourselves there. We were a little bit ill-disciplined with a couple of plays, kick out on the full, a couple of those sorts of things that just put you under pressure. But the couple of opportunities we had, we looked like we were going to find something as well. So you're always worried at 16-2 down against Melbourne, aren't you? But I thought we had enough fight in us that we were certainly going to get ourselves back in the contest.
Did you think 40 unanswered points?
No, look, I didn't see that. And we're outstanding in the second half. Obviously the halfback did a great job. That's why you find that many points. But he was well supported by a lot of people.
What about Josh Kerr's impact? I mean, that try, I know he's playing his 100th, but the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks especially, he's just been unbelievable for you off the bench, but he really made a difference when he came on tonight.
Yeah, he did. He was really hard to handle. Every carry he made, I think he was hard to handle and sort of got his nose through, and he's been able to do that for us the last couple of weeks. He's been outstanding. So it's great for him. 100 games tonight, and for him to play the way he did and for us to get the win that we did, it's outstanding. And I thought our benching overall was really good tonight. Ray Stone came on and changed the game. He was outstanding, and he gets 2 tries for a reward, but some of the defensive work and the supports and the things that he does, he's an outstanding player for us, and he really showed that tonight.
Katoa, Christian, 5 try assists against the Melbourne Storm. I mean, it's a remarkable achievement. Probably one of your greatest wins against a team like that. I know you've had some good wins ago over the Broncos and the Roosters first game, but for him to do that against Melbourne, what does that say about him?
Oh, he's a special player. I've said that all along, and he's an outstanding halfback. I love the way he plays. I love the way he carries himself. I love his maturity. He's a great player, and we're seeing glimpses of what he's capable of at the moment.
Where does this win rate? You had that first win, first game, first season against the Roosters, and then the first Battle of Brisbane win, and now this one. So where does it factor into that equation, do you think?
Look, I'm not sure. I hadn't sort of thought about that. It's a big win for us. Melbourne are so hard to beat, and I did see a number the other day in terms of what the score was against us, and it was over double. So they're a hard team to beat all the time, and we've certainly found them hard to beat. So to get the win's great for us. To win the way we did is even better. And as a team, we need to believe in ourselves. We've got a good footy team.
Dominic, can you feel that within the team? 3 wins in a row, and now you go to Canberra next week. Can you feel that? The first 4 weeks were obviously very tough, and you guys stayed united, but now you're putting points on and you're beating teams. Can you feel it within?
Yeah, I probably felt it months ago, to be honest. There was a lot of changes. Obviously, new coaching staff, a couple of great players came to our club and made a difference, and we slowly evolved as a team. And I just felt a couple of months ago we were going in the right direction. Obviously, it's hard when you have the start we do for people to believe in that, but the best thing was we had that belief from maybe January after our footy camp. We just needed to get a win on the board, and the good thing is we're backing it up week after week, and I reckon it comes from that belief. It comes from the hard work we've put in, and it's came back from the heavy criticism we took in the early rounds. We did something well with it. We took it on the chin, and we kept ourselves grounded, and we believed in ourselves.
Well, how did you sort of hold your nerve in that first month? Did you talk to anyone? Did you look to anyone for advice? Or
No, not at all. No, I've said a couple of times I've been there before. I've been with plenty of teams that have had their rough trots, and I think Tommy's just alluded to it there. We did a lot of good things through pre-seasons. We did a lot of good things coming into the start of the year, and I knew we were on the right track as well. I knew those things had come through for us at some stage. They didn't early, but I believe in the players that we got here, and I believe in the work that we've done.
What can you tell us about Max Plath and Felice Kafusi, Christian? How serious their injuries, and what exactly are they?
I think Max is a foot injury. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but he's a tough bugger, Max. So for him to come off, he's got an injury, and for him to not to come back on. That's another thing that makes the win so brave tonight, is to lose a player like him and the work that he does, and other blokes to step in and fill that void and pick up all that work. But I'm not quite sure about him in terms of length of time and everything else, but I know it's a foot injury. Kafus was a medial, as in the knee medial. He was relatively keen to come back on in the second half, but the doctors and the physios weren't all that keen. They thought he might be able to make that worse, so made a smart decision there, and we'll see how he goes.
Really disappointed, actually. I can't remember, coaching a Storm team that's been up 16-2 and then gets 40 in a row put on us. That's embarrassing, really. But hopefully, we'll learn from that, and it'll be a tough old weekend and tough day, review day, but. I'm not quite sure what else to say about it. Like I say, as you say, it was disappointing, really disappointing. For what happened in the game to happen like that. And I think Jerome just made a good point in the dressing room. We've been winning our games off our attack, to be quite honest. And today we had to stump up defensively because we just kept turning the ball over and. We couldn't do it, so good learning point for us.
You had an 8-0 win last year over Penrith, I think, to start the season. Craig, I'm not sure, but you don't seem to have had that kind of a win where your defence has won it for you. Is that a concern for you?
Yeah, it seems to be like that. Yeah. Big concern. Like I say, it's to rely just on your attack. We've sort of been a little bit aware of it, that our defence hasn't probably been as good as we'd like it to be. Probably it's been a little bit more individually, to be quite honest. I just have to have a look through it and just see, where we think the problems are. And there's probably a few problems, and take what the main one is and see if we improve that for next week.
Craig, you've obviously had fast starts the last couple of weeks and kind of blown teams away. Was there a hint tonight that the players just thought that was going to happen again, considering the way they started? After the game, I probably thought a little bit of that. Perhaps it was complacency. Again, getting that sort of start and then just putting the slippers on. I'm not quite sure. I'd hate to think that's that happened, but anyway, like I say, get our review, and we just need our players coming in with, not excuses, but reasons why what happened tonight might have happened tonight. So hopefully, we can learn from it. Jack Howarth injury was obviously a major turning point, caused a massive reshuffle. But what's the latest on him? Like, it's a dislocated shoulder. They think it's a bad one, and we're looking at extended time here.
Yeah, it'll be extended time, but if he has an operation, it'll be the season, I think. So I think he'll try and rehab it and then see how it goes from there. So I think he was out for too long. So I think that's a plus. We'll just see what the medical team think, but they're thinking just to rehab it and then try him again. But he's been in really good form the last couple of weeks, Jack, and really made some improvements in his game. And he was looking likely out there tonight too. But unfortunately, that's a bad injury for him.
How thin does this lead you?
Say again, sorry?
How thin does it leave you in the outside backs, Craig? Do you expect Nick Meaney, possibly Will Warbrick next week, a chance?
I don't really know, to be quite honest. Will's the head thing, so it's hard for the medical people to sort of go with that. I think Means will probably be another couple of weeks away. So like I say, we're just running out of centres. Obviously, Moses Leo last week, he had a shoulder operation during, and he's going to be out for about three months, I think. Jack,
doing that injury and Nick being out. So yeah, it's been a tough time injury-wise. But having said that, that's no excuse for what happened tonight. But yeah, we are running short of outside backs. If you've played in that position, you might turn up this week and train for us. Jake, you might get a game, mate.
Cam, what was going on from out the field? Because it looked like when you got to 16-2, it could have been floodgates, and obviously, Josh Kerr scores that try, and then it really started to turn. Can you just give us some insight on the field, what you guys were saying, and how you tried to stop the tide?
Oh, with the way the game's going, there's always momentum swings. It just depends on who holds the ball the best. And the last probably couple of weeks, like obviously Jerome spoke about it after the game and Belichick spoke about it, we've run on our attack. Like we haven't had to defend our cage or defend our line a whole heap. We've relied on our obviously our class of our attack, and it's worked. Sometimes we've got ourselves out of trouble because of that. So the learning for us is probably a big learn for us is our defence. I'm glad it's happened now. It hasn't happened in a big game at the back end of the year, and we've got pumped by that. So, look, like we spoke about, we're disappointed tonight, but I'm glad it's happened now and not at the back end of the year. So, I know everyone's probably talking about, they put a lot of points on us and stuff, but it's a good learning and wake-up call for us, and something that we need to address as a group defensively. And we know we've got points in us. We've showed it the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, if we can defend really well like other teams, we'll be a very hard team to beat this year.
Money, you and Hamaso got an issue or something? You seem to be going at each other a bit out there.
Oh, just a bit of friendly fire. I guess that's just the competitive nature in both of us. We've always wanted to get the wood over each other. I'm not going to change my competitiveness just because we're on the field and we're friends. Like at the end of the day, whatever's on the field happens on the field, and I'll address it and move on. There's a lot of speculation about the way I'm a fine line kind of player, and I'll keep doing what I need to do to win, whatever that takes. If that means I have to do something stupid, then that means I have to do something stupid. But for me, I just want to win, and that's my competitive nature in me. And sometimes I might push it too far, and I need to work on that. But they were pretty good tonight, and they sometimes get you off your game, and they did tonight for me. So it's been happening like the last couple of weeks. So something I need to probably address and need to work on, and be able to obviously hold my nerve and not get into the scuffle a fair bit. Me and Trent seem to somehow find a way in there.
Cameron, Harry's going to be touch and go for Origin 4 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
Would you be talking about your competitive nature? Would you be happy to see Reid Marnie come into the Queensland squad in some way? I mean, he's probably a man after your heart.
Oh, look, I got to pick first for Origin. Let's be honest, after the last couple of weeks, probably with my kicking game, it probably hasn't been up to scratch. So, to be honest, I'm probably just more focusing on the Storm at the moment, regardless on who Bill wants to pick for Origin. And if they get the opportunity, then congratulations. But for me, there's a couple of more things that I need to address here at the club defensively, and a couple of things in my game that I need to work on before I worry about Origin and who's getting picked and stuff. So, yeah, look, it'd be nice to get picked, but at the end of the day, I'm more focusing on the Storm at the moment. And once I get the opportunity, if I do, to play obviously Origin with Bill, then I'll worry about that then. But I'm at the moment, I've got my spine with Bronson, Hughesy and Paps at the moment, so I need to work with them a little bit more. And yeah, I think if they get the opportunity, like I said, they're good, but I'm not giving too much away because he's an advisor for the Blues as well, mate.
But what about you're only 3 weeks away from the team being picked? Do you think you wouldn't get picked right now, or do you think Dearden would beat you to the punch?
Oh, yeah, mate. I don't know what Bill thinks. Bill's got a couple of ideas. He might even put Cobbo at hooker. You never know. He's got a good way of thinking about the game, Billy. So, yeah, if he picks Reid, he picks Reid. He's been having a real good game for the Dogs, so I'm sure he's in line to get his opportunity. But still got Ben Hunt there. You've still got myself or Tommy Dearden play utility off the bench, so you never know which way they want to go. So, yeah, look, it's a great headache to have for Bill, but like I said before, I'm here at the Storm at the moment. I'll worry about Queensland if I get the opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.